And if they brought the mask back in after what I went through before, I'd just pack up and go back to Italy.
So I'd be perfectly happy to consider other people and put on a mask and do what's considerate. It's kind of the bare minimum as a human.
That's all I gotta say about it. I don't know, I think it's all bullshit.
It's still happening, it's still real, so I'm not like a COVID denier, and I believe in masks and things to keep people safe.
So one last question.
I want me and my family to be safe, and I want the people around me to be safe as well. And as much as I can do that, I feel like I'm giving back to the community as well. So
I think I'd be unhappy about it, but I would do it just to be like safe.
Shouldn't at this point maybe we consider, like, if you're at risk, you stay inside, you protect yourself, you wear a mask, but is it the right move to force everybody under the same blanket and force everybody to abide by measures?
Well, everybody who wants to be in a public space, sure. I mean, that's just the way it works.
Lincoln J for Rebel News here at Yonge and Dundas Square in Toronto, and today we're going to see if Canadians will comply with COVID-19 mandates if they were to be brought back. Are people willing to put a mask back on? Are they willing to start social distancing and adhering to lockdowns? Once again, health experts are warning the public of new COVID-19 variants. Some quote-unquote experts are speaking out in support of making masks mandatory in school settings. Dr. Catherine Clace, professor of medicine at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario, stated that the province should step in and mandate masks. We know that masks work.
Because just wearing a mask if you're in a high-risk setting is not good enough.
In British Columbia, a group of physicians wrote a letter to the province asking the government to bring back masking in schools. Really quick, guys, before we get into the rest of the video, please visit our website, nomoremasks.ca. Sign the petition if you agree that this madness with masks needs to be put to rest. Now, with the whispers of masking and new variants on the rise again, we're going to talk to some people here in Toronto and see how they feel about the matter. Are they willing to put on a mask to go inside a mall like this one just behind me? So we have some questions. Let's get some answers. How would you feel if the government brought back COVID-19 mandates like masking, lockdowns? How would that make you feel?
Yeah, I think if it was absolutely necessary, like people are dying left and right, I guess I'd be okay with that. But then with the state, everything is in, everyone seems kind of fine, like most people are vaxxed, and it doesn't seem to be spreading too much, so I'd be a bit unhappy right now.
It didn't work the first time, I feel. You know, it's the same way, right? There's no real difference other than if no one heard about it, right, there wouldn't be an issue, right?
I would move back to Italy. I'm originally from Italy. I'm a Canadian citizen. I've been here for 62 years. I came here when I was 10, and if they brought the mask back in after what I went through before, I'd just pack up and go back to Italy.
If we had to do it to keep more people safe, then it is what it is, I guess.
it's gonna make us safer, of course, yeah, but on the other side, it's gonna make us restricted again on ourselves and other people as well.
Well, I'd feel it'd be kind of a mistake because if your body doesn't get immune to the new bacteria and viruses, how's it going to build immunity to fight against the new viruses and bacteria? Back in the day when I was young, I got a flu. So all my mom did, give me some castor oil and give me some healthy foods and told me to just stay away from people for a bit, quarantine for a little bit, and I didn't have to wear a mask or anything. And I got better.
I'd probably abide by it, but I know most of the population probably would be very annoyed and probably wouldn't follow it, but I wouldn't be too inconvenienced with it. For my job, I had to wear masks for like 3 years, and it was what it was, so I wouldn't be too put off, but you know, I wouldn't love it, but I would probably buy it.
Well, it depends on the situation with the pandemic. If things really are as bad as they were in the past, I'd be perfectly happy to consider other people and put on a mask and do what's considerate. It's kind of the bare minimum as a human.
I wouldn't be too happy about it. That's all I gotta say about it. I don't know, I think it's all bullshit.
Now nothing is happening. But I wear it. If the government say it, I'll do it.
Why do you think that we're seeing so-called health experts, mainstream media, we're seeing all the whispers again about potentially bringing back masks, other COVID-19 variants coming out? Why do you think we're still hearing about this now at this point? We know COVID-19 isn't as serious as it was originally thought to be. Why are we still hearing about the potential dangers of this virus?
I think it's just a way, maybe, that the government's trying to put a hold on us and just keep us in check. You know, so we don't get too comfortable, if you will. I hate to say that, but, you know, after living that long here in Canada and seeing so much change with everything, it's, you know, that's my feeling.
Okay, we're still hearing about it because people are still sick, people are still dying, it's still happening, it's still real. So I'm not like a COVID denier, and I believe in masks and things to keep people safe.
Why do you? So one last question.
Because people will listen, right? They can see how far they can get with it. I mean, I could get real conspiracy style on it, but no, I don't want to sound stupid with it.
Because it's still around, COVID-19 is still here. It didn't disappear, I mean, we got precautions with the vaccines and all of those stuff, but it is still around. And we just don't know when it's gonna hit back first because it keeps on having those kind of new variants, right? So it's still gonna come back. So that's why maybe they want to bring it back.
Like that's kind of what they need to do to like make a lot of people happy. That's a big part of it. I feel like they could have done a much better job the first time for sure. Like we had many lockdowns. We could have just had one super long lockdown and that would have been much better. So I'd say for the most part, it's to like keep people happy.
It's probably too, the government can use it for intimidation tactics to kind of control people and to keep the population under their control. So if they feel that they tell you to wear a mask and you'll obey them, they know they can control you in other ways against your freedoms and rights.
Well, to try and protect the population, protect everyone from spreading more, of having it spread more, but that would be the obvious reason.
Well, virus levels have been up in wastewater and other measures insofar as we still have testing. I mean, the system isn't as robust as it used to be. The levels of virus are ticking up, and I mean, the science doesn't care if you want to wear a mask or not. You're still going to get infected with the virus.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. No clue.
So let's say tomorrow, Doug Ford comes on, says to go into a mall, restaurant, etc. You have to wear a mask. Are you going to abide by these measures? Why or why not?
Well, it depends. I would ask Doug Ford if it would be okay to wear the mask in the Greenbelt areas, if they would let me do that. Maybe that would be a consideration. Other than that, I would say no.
I already regret having to get 2 vaccines for work a long while ago, right? As an actor, they made you do it, right? But no, I feel like they would learn because I feel like nowadays people wouldn't do it. They would lose business.
Yes. I want me and my family to be safe, and I want the people around me to be safe as well. And as much as I can do that, I feel like I'm giving back to the community as well. So
I think I'd be unhappy about it, but I would do it just to be like safe, just in case like there are actually measures. But yeah, I wouldn't be the happiest about it.
I have no comment on that, because depending on the situation.
I know I sort of try and follow the rules if I can, and I don't know, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it, so they'd be fine.
Well, I was just at church, and in today's gospel reading, right, Jesus tells Peter, anyone who wants to follow me should pick up their cross and deny themselves and follow me. Now, you got a duty, if you're a Christian or another person of faith, to be considerate of others and love them, love your neighbor as yourself. So, if an order came down tomorrow, yeah, sure, I'd put on a mask. It's not a big deal.
Be tempted not to. Just to, what does it say, Rebel News, eh? Just to be a little rebellious, man, I might not. Why would we want to go through that again? Like, look at all the, the damage it caused the first time around. All these mom and pop shops that are closed, look around town. Everything's changed so much in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff closed down. Sure, new stuff's opening up, but, it's not the same as it was. Things are definitely changing in some sense, I feel.
No, I don't need no needles, maybe the mask, but no needles.
How far are you willing to go? Are you willing to start social distancing, lockdown, stay inside your house, don't see friends? Are those things that you do? Like, where does the line get drawn for you?
That's an interesting one because I've got a daughter who's 4 years old, and it's important to her to be able to socialize with her friends. But we learned how to do that already in the pandemic. We know how to contact trace. We know how to take tests and be relatively certain whether or not somebody that you're seeing is an infection risk or not. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm surprised also that nobody's talking about people who are immunocompromised, who have AIDS or who have had an organ transplant or some other condition that puts them highly susceptible to a virus. We have to consider them too. They're still our neighbors. They're still our brothers and our sisters. I mean, what I want to do, what's inconvenient to me, I mean, who gives a shit? What about me? I mean, I got to be considerate of the broader community.
I've already didn't do mask previous time, and I'll never put on in my face.
If they bring back lockdowns and stuff, you're going to see restaurants go under, businesses go under, small businesses really struggle during lockdowns. Is it fair to these people to bring back these measures? Like, shouldn't at this point maybe we consider, like, if you're at risk, you stay inside, you protect yourself, you wear a mask, but is it the right move to force everybody under the same blanket and force everybody to abide by measures?
Well, everybody who wants to be in a public space, sure. I mean, that's just the way it works. The virus is going to spread if there are no control measures and there is a high virus load in the community. I'm not sure that there is now or not. We'll have to see, but early signs are not good. But, you know, if it happens to be that way, it happens to be that way, go along with it. And our government had no problem finding money to give to the larger corporations last time that the virus was at high levels to bail them out. I would think that this time around there would be sufficient public will to kind of push for a bailout and help for restaurant owners and other small businesses like that.
You'll never get rid of the Karens and Kevins. That's always going to happen. But other than that, you know, you abide where you can. If I'm in a medical building and it's a mandatory thing, yeah, okay. But if it's out going for a walk and enjoying the fresh air through my nostrils, that's a different thing altogether.
Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Once again, visit our website, nomoremasks.ca. Sign our petition if you agree that the madness with masks has to stop. Thanks, guys.